Labor's Luke Gosling has held this seat since 2016. He's trying to achieve a record fourth term here in the seat of Solomon. It used to be a bellwether seat. It's now a seat that you'd say is almost a safe Labor seat, but the CLP certainly been putting a lot of effort into this campaign and certainly trying to campaign on that issue of law and order. I might bring in now the Labor MP, Luke Gosling. Luke, beautiful dry season day. You've just cast your vote. What are you seeing as the big issues that people are talking to you about on the ground?
Well, as you mentioned, people want to feel safe, and that's what we're absolutely committed to in federal Labor, is working with Leah Finocchiaro's government on, well, we're already giving hundreds of millions of dollars for extra police, but it's also the jobs and the pathways and the youth engagement hubs and the schools and the education programs that'll see young people in particular go in the right way. So that's what we're committed to doing. But cost of living, a lot of people obviously struggling with that a little bit, but also appreciative that this financial year they've got big tax cuts coming, they've got energy bill relief, but just cheaper childcare and cheaper medicines and things like that. It all adds up to mean that life is that little bit easier. But everyone's happy, dry season's coming. And tourism, I mean, I'll just say to your listeners, come up to the Territory. It's beautiful this time of year. It's beautiful all year, but this time of year is particularly spectacular. So, but, you know, through mining, we've got so much ahead of us here in the Territory. But what it needs is federal funding commitments that mean that we can grow industry and grow jobs. We're obviously proud. We've grown jobs throughout the Australian throughout Australia, and our economy is doing well as a result. We've got inflation down. Those interest rate cuts that have been predicted by some, as they hit and mortgage holders are given that little bit more of a relief, I think better days are ahead. Yeah,
you're right about that weather. I've almost managed to wear a jacket and tie and not break into a full sweat.
That's impressive.
One other quick issue, Luke. The Port of Darwin's been a big focus during this campaign. Yep. You've long said it was a bad idea to lease it to China. Yep. Did they steal the march on you, though, a little bit? Peter Dutton sort of got here before the Prime Minister, and we saw Anthony Albanese rushing to get on ABC radio to make an announcement. Could your campaign have managed that a little bit better?
Oh, look, I'm not going to do anything else than be absolutely thankful for the Prime Minister's support of me, because obviously this has been something I've been working on for some time, and just connecting the Australian buyers that are out there with Landbridge so that we can get a commercial deal on having the port come back into Australian hands, which is going to mean that there's the investment into our port that we need for the future. There's so much mining potential, critical minerals and other mining opportunities, other bulk goods that we want to get out through our port. But because of where we're situated, we're going to have a lot more incoming through the port on the rail down south. So it's a good news story. It's a good news story for the whole country. I think around Australia, if there's one thing that people have always said to me is, how the bloody hell did the Darwin port end up going that way? So, you know, we'll find a commercial deal, but we'll also back it federally when the time's right with the investment that's needed.
Thanks so much for your time today, Luke, and thanks for all of your efforts to be open and transparent with us during the election campaign. I know you've got places to go, so I'll let you get on the road, but it'll be interesting to watch how that result goes tonight.
Let's go to Matt Cunningham in the seat of Solomon in Darwin. Matt, Labor's held this seat since 2016. Why is the coalition confident this time?
Yeah, well, you'd have to think with an 8.4% margin that Labor's Luke Gosling is absolutely the favourite to hold on, Kieran, but there are some real local issues at play in the seat of Solomon, in particular the issue of law and order. We know cost of living is the #1 issue across the country, but I think it could be argued that here in the Northern Territory and in Darwin, law and order probably trumps cost of living. We know it's a territory government or a state and territory government issue, but it is still front of mind for a lot of people here. I might just bring in the Country Liberal Party candidate, Lisa Bayliss. Lisa, thanks so much for your time. What's the mood been out on the doors today?
Yeah, look, crime is still the #1 issue in the Northern Territory, followed by cost of living. Territorians are doing it tough out there, not only just for how they're living with expenses, everyday expenses, but just also the high crime levels. So that's been, when I speak to people, still the #1 issue.
Traditionally an issue that is handled by state and territory governments. I mean, what could a federal coalition government do to make any difference here?
Yeah, look, I said it when earlier debates I've spoken to people on the street. The 7-point plan that Leah Finocchiaro, the Chief Minister, put to the federal government, and they've not actually endorsed anyone except for one. And we need real practical measures to do anything we can to try and combat crime. So I think be able to work together with Leah Finocchiaro and the rest of the Northern Territory government to try and get the best we can for the Territory.
Well, thanks so much for your time, Lisa. We've got about an hour till polls close in the Northern Territory, so I'll let you get back to it. It is a really interesting seat, Kieran, and I think it's interesting, that issue of law and order. Also interesting, we hear Lisa Bayliss there talking about trying to work with Leah Finocchiaro. She only came to power last August, but when she did, there was an absolute landslide win for the Country Liberal Party, particularly here in Darwin and Palmerston, where the seat of Solomon lies. Labor lost every one of its seats at that election. If that transpired here, they'd be out on their ear, but I think there might also be different federal issues that people are talking about today.
Yeah, and there's that teal effect as well. I know you've been telling me about it, and our viewers over recent weeks will keep an eye on that as well.